Hey everyone, Dave here back in the AI kitchen, and I'm excited because today we're going to be making low-carb bagels, which seems like a win-win for me. Now if you're new here, I'm not a professional cook, but I enjoy cooking, and you know, me and you, we like to try new things. And this is something new. I don't know if this is like a brand new thing. I asked AI to create a recipe for a low-carb bagel because bagel is my favorite food. And if I were to do a low-carb diet, it's the one thing I wouldn't want to give up. So I wanted to see if it's possible to have bagels on a low-carb diet. And in a recent video, I made these cottage cheese flatbreads that kind of sort of replicated the feel of bread. So I thought maybe we could do it with a bagel. So I asked ChatGPT, it came up with a recipe, we're gonna try it. It says to start by putting your oven at 375. And then you're supposed to, in a blender or food processor, which I'll probably use my little ninja thingy, to blend the cottage cheese till smooth. 1 cup of cottage cheese in a little like blender type dealio. So I'm gonna put a cup of cottage cheese in this and maybe rinse it first. I feel a little better about it now. It's a little cleaner. Now I think we've all had this question asked to us, like what is your desert island food? And people always are weirded out because I usually respond, bagels. That's how much I love bagels and always have loved bagels. We're gonna get 1 cup of cottage cheese. Now, if I'm reading this correctly, I'm gonna tell you the net carbs on these bagels are 4.87 carbs in each bagel, which seems very low to me, like a good thing. There we go. I mean, it's not a 0 carb kind of a situation, but it's a very low quantity of carbs. There we go. So because I'm not a professional, I'm gonna take this over to the power plug back here because I don't have one of them fancy power plugs in the island and I don't have any more extension cords. I'm back here. Okay, that seems pretty smooth. Apparently cottage cheese is all the rage right now. Everyone's cooking stuff with cottage cheese, so we're hopping on the bandwagon. Oh, let me show you what it looks like here. It looks a little bit more smooth, I would say, less lumpy, so I think that's a good thing. Now we're gonna get a big old bowl and we're gonna put the cottage cheese in there. It's a little early in my house, so I'm trying to be kind of quiet. But here's the thing, I figured I like my bagel in the morning, so I gotta cook it early. So I'm just gonna get all this cottage cheese into my mixing bowl here, and then we're gonna add the other ingredients. Now I had a lot of new people watch the channel for my cottage cheese flatbread. I did get a lot of complaints about how I do my videos because people are so used to YouTube being these like super high production value, beautiful things where no one ever messes up, and if they do, they cut the footage and try again. Not how we do it here, folks. We're real. We're the real kitchen. We're how you cook at home. Well, most of you. I mean, I'm sure there's some pros, but everyone messes up. I mean, at the end of the day, generally, we get the recipe cooked and it comes out pretty good. I'm taking 1 cup of almond flour now, and we're gonna combine it in with the cottage cheese there. All right, next we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. So all that to say, if you're new here, if you went and saw that cottage cheese flatbread recipe and said, oh, I'm gonna stick around and watch this guy because I like him, thank you, I appreciate that. I just added 2 tablespoons of coconut powder. I guess I should tell you what I'm doing if you do want to follow along. Coconut flour, not powder. Very specific. This is what it looks like, coconut flour. So I got almond flour, coconut flour. These are like lower carb flours. This says 8 grams of carbs, 2 fiber in 2 tablespoons. I just did that all wrong. I did that all wrong. See, this is what I mean, guys. We're real here. I just messed up the whole recipe because I was supposed to do the dry and wet ingredients separately and I put them together. So we're gonna start over. I wasn't kidding when I said it was early. Let me go blend some more cottage cheese and I'll be right back. And see, I don't cut it out. I let you know. This happens for real to normal people. Yeah, well, isn't it ironic? It's like the Alanis Morissette song. While I'm talking about not how I screw up, I just make a big screw up. But that's all right. We caught it early enough to save the day. So I added 1 cup of flour to an empty bowl, almond flour, 2 tablespoons of coconut flour now. 1 and numero 2. This stuff smells good. It smells like coconut. Now we can press on from where we're at. We didn't get that far. I think we need to add baking powder, 2 teaspoons of it. It's funny because there's some instincts I personally have. Everyone has their own instincts when it comes to cooking that they've developed. And for me, the minute I added baking powder and then I saw salt as an additional thing to add, my brain went, wait a minute, shouldn't this be mixed as a dry ingredient mix and then added to the wet later? And then I went back and reread and saw that I had done it wrong. So I added 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm now gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 uno. I'm very proud of myself for catching that mistake. See, that's a good mindset to be in. You can be mad at yourself for making the mistake or proud of yourself for realizing you made the mistake. So now that we have our dry ingredients, we're just gonna mix that up. The thing I got excited about when I punched this into ChatGPT, because sometimes I'll punch a recipe into or an idea into ChatGPT, and it'll come back with a recipe that looks so hard, and I'll be like, ugh, I don't wanna do that. Like I asked it to make a recipe based on the new Inside Out movie, and it was, my gosh, like a 6-hour project. I'm like, I don't got 6 hours to make one thing that's just gonna look cool and maybe taste mid or mediocre. There you go, that's all nice and mixed up. But this one I put in, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if you could have like a low carb bagel. I punched it in and it's like the super easy seeming recipe. We'll see if it actually is or if it's good. All right, now that we have that all mixed up, now we wanna add the cottage cheese. And I know it might not seem like a big deal, guys, but it is. You have to have the wet and dry separate sometimes. Because in baking, it's a bit of a science, or so they tell me. And it's important to get that baking powder and salt in all the dry ingredients, I think. I don't know. Let's not get into the science. There's probably a whole channel dedicated to that. And it ain't this one. All right, I added my cottage cheese. We now need to add 2 large eggs. There was a lot of you who requested I make more cottage cheese things. So that's why I figured, why not try it? There's one. That goes in here with everything else. And then we do one more as well. Any shell? No shell. Next, we want to add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Oh, I guess I got to add that egg first. Ooh, this smells strong. You know what? I'll dump it over this bowl over here. And then add that in as well. I'm not really sure why, but that's part of it. And then let's set all this aside. All right, and then we're going to mix it all up. I probably shouldn't be using a plastic fork. Not really mixing very well with a plastic fork. We'll figure it out though. Yeah, so a lot of people were saying, oh, Dave, you need to do the recipe prior to doing the video. Don't hit record until you've cooked the recipe several times and have it mastered. I responded, I said, you're watching the wrong channel. That's not what we do here. We do it live. We do it live and let the cards fall where they fall. It's more fun that way, in my opinion. Not every recipe I make is gonna be something you wanna make. You know, sometimes you gotta watch till the end, make sure it looks good, and then do it. But even with people who do like the really pro channels, I'll watch the recipe video once to see if I wanna try it, and then if I do wanna try it, I do it. So it's the same idea. Watch this, see if it comes out good, see if you wanna try it, and if you do, try it. And it's cool because you get to see my real first reaction to something, whether it's negative or positive. This is pretty good and mixed up, right? Now this is supposed to make 6 bagels. I'm gonna take a cookie sheet here. I don't know how to do this. I've never made a bagel, so I'm like a little bit nervous about this part. I know I need parchment paper. Let me get some of that, and I'll just like make that the surface that I'm working on. And I'm supposed to make 6 separate piles of dough, but this is like pretty sticky still. I don't know. It says to wet your hands. Okay, my hands are wet. I don't know. I'm just gonna take out and make 6 little piles here. 2, 3, oh my gosh, 4. I hope this works. This seems suspect, to say the least. Suspect? Sus, as the kids would say. Are they still saying that? Or am I a little, you know, day late, dollar short on that? What was my dog doing? You probably didn't hear it, but it was just like, aww. How in the world is this gonna work? I'm highly concerned, folks, highly concerned about these bagels. Now I'm supposed to do what? My hands aren't wet anymore. Shape them into a ball? A ball? Really? So these are supposed to be in a ball. I don't know. This is, I'm questioning everything right now. And then flatten them a little bit, it says. My hands aren't wet. Wet your hands, flatten them a little bit. Hey, yeah, the wetting the hands thing worked. Oh, they unwetified. Let me wet them again. Wet them, and again, press down. I wet that one too this time because I was feeling crazy. This seems like it's not gonna work. And then it says to make a hole in the middle for the bagel-y. I'm just gonna use the back of my fork here, guys. See, this is why it's fun to watch me, because those of you who at home who have made some sort of a bagel or a cottage cheese bagel are just like, Dave, you were doing this completely wrong. The result's gonna be hilarious. And that gives you a little extra love and joy in your life. This is weird. Is this actually gonna rise? I just want them to look good. Oh, do I need to put toppings on them? They vaguely resemble what I imagine a horrifying bagel would look like. Okay, okay. It says put it on a baking sheet with parchment paper. So you see, I outthought the recipe. I put the parchment paper down, I did all that. I guess I probably should have just done it on the baking sheet to make sure it fit. Oh boy, hey, it fits. Kind of, sort of. Can I do this sort of thing to make sure it all fits on there? All right, it's gonna be a little scrunched up parchment paper. That's okay. I'm like consoling myself. It's okay, Dave. You did your best. You did your best, little buddy. Sure, that works. Can I then cut this off? Why did I make that cut? To help this fit a little better because it's kind of falling or pushing up against the edge. Is this how you use parchment paper? I don't think so. My favorite comment that I get on my video, my favorite negative comment that I get on my videos is, wow, that was hard to watch. I get it. I have a buddy who's a pro cook, and I'm pretty sure he stopped watching like 6 months ago. He used to always talk about my videos. He doesn't do it anymore. I'm pretty sure I pushed him over the edge. So a couple different seasonings. This is everything but the everything bagel seasoning jalapeno. So I think I'm gonna do, what, one like that with the jalapeno? I'll do two. I'll do 2 jalapeno, loaded up. And I've got some standard everything seasoning that's not spicy. They sell this at like Walmart and stuff. Do 2 like that. I guess you could do like a blueberry one too, if you wanted to. Then I've got poppy seeds. So we'll do a poppy seed bagel. I hope these are good. And then I've got just straight sesame seeds. So we'll do a sesame seed bagel. All right, I think we cook them now. It was really easy. If it works, then it's really easy. Place in the oven at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. It says bake for 20 to 25 minutes until the bagels are golden brown and firm to the touch. Allow the bagels to cool, blah-de-blah-de-blah. So we're gonna see, we're gonna let these cook. In the flash of an eye, you're gonna see if they came out good or disgusting. I'm gonna clean up my mess a little bit and we'll be right back. All right guys, we're back and it has been 25 minutes and our bagels are, bagels kind of? Maybe we call them bagel thins. That's what we should title the video. Cottage cheese, low carb bagel thins, because they're not very thick. But you know what? They do kind of have the consistency and texture of a bagel. Look at that. It kind of looks bagel-y, doesn't it? It's not terrible. Listen, it's you know, it's just thin. I wonder if there's a way to make them thicker. I guess you could just put more dough and you'd have them thicker. Like, it's not terrible. I don't know how to toast it though. I guess I could just slide it in the toaster like that and slather some cream cheese on the bottom and try it. That's an option. Let's see, do they look better if I unplate them and put them on to a, or uncookie sheet them? Oh wait, don't screw this up. Oh no, which one's which? I just forgot. Well, I'll figure it out when I taste them. I like all of them, so can't go wrong really. Homemade bagels have been accomplished, but they are cottage cheese and only 4 carbs, 4.5 carbs in each one, which is the real benefit here. I'm gonna throw one in the toaster and try to eat it. I have the technology. Although if you've ever been to New York City, and you know, I'm gonna try, these look different, so I'm gonna try both everything ones. You'll know that if you ask them to toast your bagel, they give you the craziest side eye, like what is wrong with you? And of course, the reason they do this is because the bagels are all like super fresh just out of the oven or the water. Don't they boil them? I don't know. But they're so fresh that they're like, you don't need to toast it. It's good to go. So I'm gonna toast these anyways, even though they just finished cooking. I actually did let them cool for about 5 minutes. We're gonna toast them, we're gonna cheese them, we're gonna see how they taste. And honestly, I don't really care if they're a little thin. They are a little thin. You could just stack dough higher and they'd be thicker. That's not the end of the world. As long as they taste good and they're low carb, that's a win. All right, they're out of the toaster. I don't really wanna put the cream cheese on this side, so I'm gonna put it on this side. And you know what? I could, or I should have done. I mean, how much cream cheese is too much? I saw a TikTok the other day where a person like was holding up their bagel and it was like loaded with cream cheese. They're like, is this necessary? Is this necessary? And someone interrupted them and said, yes. All right, we're gonna try this. My mouth is watering, that's a good sign. Hey now. Ooh, spicy jalapeno on that one. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Check it out. It's really got like a bagel-y consistency. You know what, guys? Kind of like having a bagel. And it's not that hard to make. That's pretty cool. I should probably make real bagels on the channel sometime. I'm gonna try the non-spicy version. I like the non-spicy even better. You know, it honestly just seems like I cooked my bagels in half. So if I combined them, boom. Full-on bagel. Look at that. There you go. Now we got a real full bagel. And then I've got the spicy and the non-spicy. This seems like a winning combo. That's actually really nice. It's a good bagel. It's a little softer than like a normal bagel. You know, a bagel has like that chew. This doesn't have much of that chew. The crunch goes right through, but it tastes like a bagel and it's way less carbs. This could totally work for me on a low-carb diet. You can see it really does look like a bagel, feels like a bagel, tastes like a bagel. I'd say if you're low-carb, keto, anything like that, definitely try these. Very good. Nice change of pace with your keto diet to have the cottage cheese, low carb bagel. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.